My name is Catrinel Sabaciag. I'm a visual artist and a designer. My work lies in between design as a product design and art installations. So it ranges from alternative clocks to light installations and also sometimes jewelry design. The theme was actually quite well suited for the whole experience and for the whole project, in terms of the fact that we sort of looked at nature through the perspective of through a scientific perspective, but then also we saw nature as a natural sort of phenomenon, like a raw experience, for example, going into caves. And I think that the whole process kind of gave me a better understanding of our nature as human and maybe as artists, and also our nature in terms of outside of ourselves. I wouldn't say that there's one particular. I think that the whole experience, because it's such a complex theme, I think just resuming it to one would be a bit of a it's kind of too narrow, I think, to put one event in it, and I think the whole complexity of it sort of matched the complexity of the theme itself of our nature, so I wouldn't be able to only select one event. Science would be probably curiosity, which is something we've heard a lot. And for art, it's I guess mystical and discovery, but those are two words, so one word is very difficult. I think what they have in common is sort of an inherent desire to find something out about the world that is sort of hidden or is not really visible in our day-to-day life. So it's sort of, so I guess scientists and artists would be people who are not really satisfied with just seeing the world as most people do. I think the biggest difference is probably that science is way more fact-related, and they kind of need a way more strategical and methodical framework for work, whilst artists probably work more intuitively and sort of trust their gut instinct more and their feelings, I guess. I mean, in terms of the science part, I guess that it would be the fact that maybe a lot of the times you can't explain things and you just need to go with your sort of feeling and just maybe be happy, although you haven't really discovered exactly everything that you thought you might. And for the artist, I guess it's sort of what we could learn from scientists is to think more about our community rather than, because sometimes as an artist you can be all about your work and your practice and not really think about the bigger picture, while scientists, I guess, are more, in a way, not really empathic, but connected to their community and to the world as at large. I guess I kind of saw it way more isolated, so I thought it kind of doesn't really, it's not really so approachable in a way, and it's sort of like, this stereotypical image of a scientist being super cut out from the world and not really, maybe having problem even connecting with other people. So it was really interesting to see that they were actually very warm people, and it wasn't as I would have probably imagined. Definitely one of the favorite moments was when we went in this cave in Slovenia, which was amazing. I've never seen such a. I mean, I'm also very passionate about rocks and sort of spaces which are underground, but this was the cave itself was amazing. And I think there was also a lecture by one of the physicists which was talking about gravitational waves and black holes, which was also a bit of a mind blow for me. So these are two, and the third one, I guess, is just living with the people we lived with and having such a great experience. Not really a moment, it's more a collection of moments. It was very nice. I guess it's one of them was I forgot his name, this guy who was talking about, this professor actually, who was talking about the gravitational waves. And another professor, the head of CISA, who at a dinner party was talking about time entropy and about sort of a synchronization of metronomes, for example, which I found really interesting. And he sort of gave us some really inspiring ideas, and not really theoretical, more some sort of sparks which you could really relate to and transform them into your practice. One of the most complicated ones is the fact that, as they told us, there's around more than 90% of matter. We don't really know what it is, and it's called maybe dark matter and stuff like that. And that's, I think, something that even the scientists can't really explain. So the first one would be the arrow of time is a projection composed of now moments, and the second one would be an alternative clock inspired by the passage of water. For the first one, it was more of a discussion that we had, for example, with the director of CISA, who was talking about sort of the symmetry of time and time entropy, and also me having an interest in this kind of themes before coming here. So it was sort of, it made me go back to it and sort of look into it deeper. And for the second one, it was actually not really related to the labs or to a person in general. It was just kind of sitting walking around the city and observing all this sort of shadows that the water leaves, and how this can be used maybe to tell time. And also on the hill in Trieste they have a orologio solare, which is like a sundial. So these two combined, I would say. I think that one of the main things would be to, if you find, for example, a concept that interests you, and so to kind of dig deeper and sort of see it from different fields. So not really only limit yourself. If you're a designer, you should only get inspiration from design or from other ways of art. So I think that's sort of bridging different fields, that would be science, philosophy, and art, is a way better technique, and sort of broadens your understanding and makes you have a more truthful product or artwork, or however you want to name it. I think they should definitely do it. I think it was a unique experience, and this was maybe once in a lifetime that you can actually access these places. And I also want to thank all the scientists and the organizers. And for the other artists, that especially in the residency, just to keep on going. And it was really nice to kind of empathize and see that we are going maybe through the same struggles that I'm sure a lot of other artists are. So it's just probably a matter of not giving up.